Good morning and welcome to another video here at the Quinta. Different start this week. So we're gonna carry on with the wall that we started last week and see how far we can get. Anything else you're gonna do or?
No, let's get on with it.
Cool. Let's just get on with it.
Okay, first things first, I'm going to cut this level here. I think that will probably just come off, to be fair. We have been deliberating about what we're doing here. We'll talk about it later. Because we keep changing our minds. But we're going to continue with this wall up here. I'm going to cut this off. There's some rebar going here to form a pillar, an extension of this pillar. So I'll get that off first, and then we'll continue laying blocks. I reckon that will just come off.
You need to cut it.
It's the most solid thing in the village. Okay, that's not working. That ain't working. That ain't working. There we go. Yeah. Beautiful. It's beautiful, it's true. Over here we were having a glass of vino and I was drinking a glass of champagne, as I do because I'm sophisticated, and I kind of liked the open plan stairs, and so it got us thinking. So what we decided that we were going to do was bring this wall up to this height and down here, and have this open so that we could walk through in and out. The problem with that is, as we've been discussing this morning, is it makes this wall big, because what we want is, we do want this opening here just to add a little bit of character, just so we're not blocking every entrance off. And then of course this wall is going to go up here, so it all suddenly became a bit tight through here. So we've gone back to plan, right, so the other day B, I think it is, because originally we were just going to put a wall, solid wall, all the way across. We're now going to build the wall up to the height we want with the trellis on top, and we're going to create a gate here just to add character, because our house here is very square and we just want character, so we think that's probably the best bet. So it'd be there, across, and a trellis and a gate, and we'll get an arch, like a wooden archway or something for the gate to match the trellis, and then all along here. I think that's now the plan, better than the plan before. What's going on? What are you doing?
I'm tired.
You're tired, yeah. Your arms are tired. Oh. Okay. Right. What am I doing? I've got to get rebar to there, haven't I?
Yeah.
So, how's that locking in? Just, it doesn't need to be long, it just needs to block into the cement, doesn't it? Yeah. Cool, So I'm going to put a pillar here. Once this is dry, we'll put some timber around it and pour some concrete in there, and that just secures here, kind of. But there is more. There is more. There's more to be sure. Once this concrete's here, we're gonna, and this one's built up to the same height, we're gonna put a couple of gate posts, and we're gonna have a gate here. As an arch. Maybe the gate will be taller. In fact, the gate will be taller. A big nice opening here. Beautiful. Just looking for Christina's royal seal of approval. Now we're going to have some lunch. Sorry? Yeah. We're going to have some lunch, then we're going to do this part, and while Christina's just preparing lunch, a gourmet meal for two, I'm going to go down and check the drains with my new toy and see where our cesspit is.
Yeah. Find out where that drain comes from.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll get on with it.
Are you inspecting the blocks? What do you think? Are they good? Are they good? Yeah. You want to come up? What's the matter? You happy there?
Oh, look at the little loving eye.
Come here. Come up here. Passed inspection. Well, put it this way, it didn't fall down when she leant on it. Right, so let me just take these press fit fittings are really good. What you have to do is make sure that the pipe is visible through those little holes, and you use one of these just to open it up and bevel the edges according to whatever size pipe you've got. These two are tricky because these are fixed pipes, so I've got to get those in first. These are screw-in ones with a separate nut, which makes life a lot easier. So now I've just got to find these heights. I've got to crimp these first, or press these first, because I won't be able to do it once these are in place. There's not enough room. So yeah, this is a little bit tricky, but should be relatively simple from this point on. Damn, that was painful. I've learnt some lessons on this one, which I shall take over to the other one. Right, that's done. That's done. It was fiddly as hell, and but it's done now. And this is done here. The pipes run round to the other side to the sink in the WC. I'm now going to get these conduits in place with the wiring, and I've just got to put a little junction box there so it can all run into it. cables there just to hold it in place. I'm going to cement the cables in, leave the boxes slightly free. We'll stop about here and here, gives us a little bit of wiggle room. We'll cement these in, get them exactly where we want them, and then once the cement here is dry, we can pull cables through wherever we want to go. Now up here, this junction box I'm doing, these will go up to a junction box and then they go off again to the fuse box. And this is how they do it here, and I think it's a wonderful way of doing it. I've done it a few times now, and it means when you're pulling the cables through the conduit, you don't have to go all the way to where you're going. You go into junction boxes which are set all around the house below the ceiling. So if ever you have any problems with your cables, you can pull those cables out and put new ones in, and they're not buried somewhere with long distances and hoping that you can get the cables through. So it does work. It's a wonderful system. Now also up here, if you're wondering why I have a gap in the wall, I have mentioned this before, but around the house we have vents up here, and so we're leaving all the breathing spaces so that air can flow nicely above the ceiling and not cause us any condensation and problems like that. That's the reason for that. Right, I'm going to carry on and see how far we get. I thought somebody was watching me then. It's the camera. I thought somebody was standing there. How weird. Okay, so got those set. Got that one up there set. Tomorrow I shall cement these all in. But in the meantime, around here, we've been busy digging for the drains. For the drains for the waste pipes, soil pipes, and this pipe, this little trench here, is for some agua to go down to that building. Waste pipe from ensuite number 1. This would be where the mains water goes into the house. We have to dig this out, but we're still waiting for that and that to be removed. Christina's been off today to see if she can sort it out. And this will then gently come down here to there. This is the ensuite 2 here, and the soil pipe is going to come out here, and then we're going to have a vent up there. Oh look, there's the moon. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so ticking away, jogging away, doing whatever it is away, whatever terminology you use. It's in the complicated stage, to be fair. What have I done around here? I've sorted out for the plumbing, can't really see it, and the water pipe is there for the toilet. I've got to chase that wall there because that will have an electric point for a mirror with a light on it, or not, depends. But we'll put it there anyway as we're chasing in walls. So yeah, tomorrow's another day. I'm going to clear up, go home, and go and see the doggies and Christina. Makes it a little bit easier rather than trying to guess. I'll let that set. It's level there, it's the right distance out. Let that one set. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure. Oh, this is awkward. Not 100% sure. I've mentioned with this electrics. So everything from the fuse box runs in this particular room, runs into that junction box. So we'll have a live wire. We'll have a 2.5mm cable for sockets and 1.5 for the lights. It comes into there, and then it will tee off to switches, as in for the lights. So it will tee off to the switches, and then back up to the lights. We'll have some spotlights up here. It's a little bit complicated, and it does hurt my brain a little bit. But that's now set. I've got to set this one, but I only just set that box there, so I need that to dry a little bit more before I put this final one in. And then that will be done, and then we're going to not cover these here until we've actually got pressure tested these joints. I'm pretty much 99.8% sure they work because they're very efficient, these press joints, but just to make sure, we will check it all out before we actually close it up. But of course, a bit closer, didn't I? Before I close it all off. So I'm going to give that a little time to go off. Then I'll cement that conduit in, and then what I'm going to do now is I've got to work through here. Let me. Where are you? Hang on. What's going on here? Hashtag awkward. Oh, right, let me find another holdy camera thingy. Right, there we go, slightly better. Right, so what I'm going to do now, while I'm letting that dry, and I think I mentioned this before I carry on, the fuse box is going to come here, so all the conduits are going to be running down from the ceiling, scattered all around the house, apart from down here in this room, because this ceiling is lower than this one and it interrupts with the arch, so I can't put a full ceiling in with insulation. So we're going to go up and insulate from the top. Now this ceiling is quite thick, it's about 6 inches reinforced concrete, and of course we've got a RSJ just to make sure, for those that wondered. Right, that's that. So now I've got to start on these secondary walls in here. So what I'm going to do is pour a little bit of concrete just as a footing. Now we don't need to dig down here because we've got 23 centimetres of a build-up coming, and so I'm going to do that there and that. This room's a bit awkward because we've still got the electric here, and that is live. Nothing live to touch, but it's live into this. And and we need them to move the damn electricity. It is cut off, but it's obviously still live there. I say it's cut off, it's not cut off. That sounds a bit wonky donkey, because there is no electric. There's going to be no grid electric, and so it is cut off. I'm not making myself very clear. Let me explain myself a little bit better. Around here. So here is live at the fuse box, which means it's live there, which means it's live there. And of course I need to build off this wall, so I need that gone. Now I could disconnect it up there, but it's not my problem, it's theirs, so they can do it. We can get rid of that wire and get rid of that post, but like all things, it's taking time. As I always mention, everything takes time. So I'll get these poured, these concrete footings poured. It's going to be one here, one along here, in the other room, the ensuite, and then on this wall here, and on this wall here. Not these two walls. We're going to put a steel framed and plasterboard, because then we can hide all the gubbings behind that, and it's pointless building a wall which takes forever in front of those walls, because that's a single brick wall, and on the other side is the workshop, which I think I've mentioned a million times, but there we go. And these are the lintels for the walls we're building, and where I'm working at the moment is in the utility room and the WC, and the fuse box is going to be here in the hallway, and that's going to have a steel framed false wall put up so that we can mount the fuse box on the wall, as I've mentioned in the past. Okay, wiring's complicated, have to do a lot of thinking. I'll pull that through and cut it off in a minute. This again will have its own separate box. This is going to have a wall, just again a metal frame wall put there, where we need to adjust it for the toilet, and that will have the same junction box we've got up there for here for the lights. Okay, so basically I've got to do this to all the areas that I'm building the secondary wall. So I've just put a bit of board there, put a bit of rebar there, just to stop it falling. I'll fill it with concrete. Once they're dry, we can build this wall, do what we've got to do. And I have to do that to all the walls that we're doing secondary walls on. Obviously these pipes don't really help. it is what it is. Oh, that was a good guess. Okay, good. Okay, I need to correct myself about this ceiling because that was the old plan, and then we changed our mind. We were going to lower the ceiling and just cut across, do some framework over this arch, and then take it up to meet the height of that ceiling. But the reason we changed our minds is because it's the height. By the time we come up to our floor level, it's only about 2 meters 20, and that's quite low. So if we just put our floor in, this still is a relatively high ceiling, and we would have to bring it down lower here because of the expanse across there. So we would have to put bigger joists across there. Now we could do a hanging ceiling, a suspended ceiling, but it still then becomes complicated going around here. So we've opted for insulation at the top, keeping the height of the ceiling. Unfortunately, we wanted to put spotlights in the kitchen because it's quite nice, but we're going to have to come up with some alternative lighting in here, which will be equally as nice. If you've got any ideas, let me know.